So, very good evening, one and all present today. So, today's case presentation is exclusively for us to know a little bit about the usage of storytelling, which is part of expressive art therapy, which is one modality of expressive arts therapy. How can we inculcate that as a therapeutic tool while we're working on a case with our client? This is a small introduction about me. I'm Swati Priya, counseling psychologist and expressive arts therapist. I've been practicing, I've been active in this field from 2009, so 15 plus years. And especially for me, my specialization is I do more of work using expressive arts. So, today's case, we're going to look into one of case which I handle is what I generally present as cases. But very good evening. But then I want to bring it to your notice that whatever is presented to you in a case presentation is not the exact name of the person, and nowhere the confidentiality or personal details about the individual will be disclosed with due respect to the individual's identity. We are to safeguard identity and to be in line with ethical practice. In ethical practice, we protect our clients, we are protective of our clients, so thereby only whatever is needed for the purpose of learning. This is purely for the purpose of learning, so nothing in the current cases which are handling will be presented. These cases which I generally present even earlier, whatever I have presented in my case presentation, are cases from the past which my seniors could have handled. I would have been part of the team. Some cases would be my own independent cases which I handled in schools, colleges, corporates, or any other institution wherever I've gone as a consultant, and or my own clinic in my clinical practice. So today, Leela's case study, as mentioned, is not Leela is not the original name of this individual. So when I saw this case a few years back, this individual was a 27-year-old female, and the reason she came was she had a history of sleeplessness over many years. So she told me that it was very difficult for her to have a proper sleep for a number of years from her teenage, she mentioned. And she's always been in a confused state of mind, and was having challenges making decisions thereby, with frequent headaches. These were some of the symptoms that she told me. And while collecting the family history, I come to this understanding that her parents, though educated, had emotionally neglected Leela from childhood due to marital disharmony. This sometimes happens. Parents may be physically taking care of kids, providing the basic necessities, putting them in reputed schools, and providing whatever they want, spending money on them. That's all may be done, but sometimes that emotional connect which a parent can provide for their kids is very important. So, to talk with the child, to spend time with the child, to play with the child, to listen to what the child is saying, every day after the child gets back from school, to sit and listen to what the child is wanting to share about the day. We are maybe take an initiative as a parent to interact with the child, to know how their day went on, what did they do in PT period, how did they like the food today, why the child hasn't like eaten the food, the snacks boxes, why is it not empty, why did the child leave the food, why didn't you like you didn't did, what was like wrong, did you were you not having enough time to eat or something like that, no? To develop a conversation, get some inputs, and to make the child feel that they are very important to us, as a parent, to make the child feel that they are important, they are being loved, and we are proud of being their parent, and we like them, and we are there for them to support them and give them a listening ear when they want to. That is very important, to create that kind of a safe environment for that child, emotionally safe environment for the child. So that somewhere was not present in the history that Leela gave. And she had some bad experiences, like bullying that she went through in school and college during her teenage for her looks, because she didn't meet their standards of beauty. So I think all of us are aware that there is a certain standards set by the society for beauty. So maybe that has been influenced by the media. So there is this kind of an influence that many youngsters have, that you need to look fair skin, you must be fair skinned, you must be curvy, you must be lean. I'm talking about it. This is also based on gender. So when it is girls or young women, like these are some expectations. Having a clear skin with no pimples, and maybe sometimes having a long hair, being tall, no, looks to be maintained like a particular heroine or whoever is in trend at that time. So that is the so-called societal expectation or standard of beauty for women. Generally, it's like that. So when a child feels that they are not able to meet that standards which their friends are expecting, or maybe they are able to put themselves into that category, they tend to um, exclude the other adolescent, the the child, that individual, their classmate. So this I've had these experiences because I've worked a lot with the younger generation. I've worked with a lot of high school, higher secondary, college students. So I know that this exists, this kind of differentiation based on looks, and body shaming do exist. And sometimes I have initiated sessions to say that every individual is unique, and you don't have to meet the societal standards, because we are part of the society. It's every individual present here today, and the others around us are part of the society. So it's all there in the mind. And the particular heroine may, or the particular model, whomever they're taking as an role model or whatever, is doing so because it is their profession. It is needed for them, for their profession, to maintain certain standards of beauty. But we tomorrow, or the children tomorrow, students who are there, they have different goals in life. They may be engineers, they may be doctors, they may be into whatever field, they may be doing fine arts, maybe today like how we ended up being counselors, they might be They can be a psychologist, they can be a counseling psychologist, they can be a clinical psychologist. Maybe they're going to be into some other for they want to become a photographer, they want to be traveling, and they want to do different things, architecture, interior designing, whatever be it. So it's enough if we are able to maintain our health, maintaining a body mass index for our height, whatever weight we can be based on our age. If we are able to maintain that the healthy body, by doing the necessary exercise and eating healthy food, that is enough. Not We are not here to impress the society, because we are not if someone has ideas of becoming an actress, maybe do that, maybe go by whatever is the necessity for that particular field which you are choosing. You want to become a model, then do that, but not necessary for everyone to follow that, because everybody's life destinations and needs are very different. So then comes this history of her love, past love, and boyfriend who promised to marry her during college days, took lot of pocket money from her, and at some point of time he deceived her. Once they changed college, or once he felt that he's not able to receive enough money from her, whatever reasons. So she felt that he took me as a, he just mentioned me that I'm his girlfriend, and proposed marriage and all that. Maybe it's because he had needs, and not that he really fell in love with me, is what she felt. So I think initially we come to know only a little bit about people when we work with them. But when we are able to, in the different stages of counseling, initially we maintain a good rapport with our client, and in stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 2 of in-depth exploration, after initial disclosure, we come to know more. And I think expressive arts is a wonderful tool that we use in in-depth exploration, where they're able to see their own self, and to know um, what I'm supposed to do based on my strengths, my limitations, and how do I problem solve. That comes in commitment to action, the third stage of counseling before entering into termination. So we'll look into a little bit today, based on the duration of time that we are going to invest for the day. So then, talking about Leela, so this is what Leela felt about herself, what she was thinking about herself. So when this process of counseling was happening, this was her state of mind. Leela felt that no one liked her because according to her, she looked ugly. She perceived, based on how she was treated by the outside world or the people at home, somewhere she understood, or she perceived herself as ugly. She doesn't deserve anything good in life. No one loves her, people only use her for needs. And she had questioned the very reason or purpose of her own existence. What is the very purpose of me living? What am I living for? Was the kind of state of mind she was in. And when it comes to some self therapeutic work that was offered to Leela, storytelling, which we are going to touch today, is one of the modalities of expressive arts therapy, which is mentioned as EAT here. And the period of therapy work that I did with Leela was for 6 months. And my agenda was to build her confidence, to help her to self love, to create that awareness that that individual is not loving themselves enough. And self esteem is again self respect. For me to respect my own self and to acknowledge my own self is like very important. Happy living with my kind of people. So, whoever accepts us, or we generally tend to travel with people of similar mindset and wavelength. So thereby, it's okay if we are accepted by, we are not accepted by certain people. There can be people at home, or there can be people in our work environment or study environment or wherever, whatever it is. If we are not, if people are not connecting with us, it's okay. But the right kind of people for us, the suitable people for us, will look for us, and they are the kind of people whom we can connect with. This is what I was trying to say, like happy living with my kind of people. So I would like to run a small story here which I played to Leela, and towards the end I will explain the purpose of why we are going to watch it. And it's the story is going to be only for I think 8-minute duration. Let me just check. I'll play it for you now. Downloads.
Move mouse.
Please stay connected. Water after it. Yeah. So getting back to our discussion, before I get into Leela's story, I want to hear from few of you. You can put it in the chat box about what was the message that you got from this video that we watched. So you saw a video. So I want you to tell me what was some moral or what was some message that you understood from that short story. Please take some time and put it in the chat box so that it will be interactive.
Can we say it instead of putting in chat box?
Yes, ma'am.
So according to the story and Leela's thing, I just understood that we should never we should not depend on other people's perspective about our look,
Hmm.
and judge ourselves like we are okay, we are one of them.
Hmm.
Because
Yes.
Leela, because according to the story, like Ugly Duckling, he was a unique one. He was not a duckling. He was actually a swam, which he didn't know. He thought he was part of the duckling and all, like, and he felt upset.
Yes. Gayatri ma'am says there are people who can love you and you can be beautiful for some. Yeah. Can I have more responses?
Mm. It's like find out who likes you.
Ah.
You may not be shooting everywhere.
Mm.
You will shoot somewhere. Find out that and no, don't never let on yourself that you are ugly or whatever it is. If I see you as ugly, means I am ugly from myself, from my side. That's why I'm seeing things as ugly. It's
Okay.
not real, unreal.
Possible.
Others' thoughts or expressions are not right for us. Like, thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else wants to speak?
It's something like everyone is unique in its own ways,
Exactly.
and we should not bother about others' perspective, how they are looking at us.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. So here we saw that throughout what Leela was going through is she was not getting that kind of acceptance. She was looking for it in her family, her immediate family. She couldn't get that. Then maybe she was trying to get it from the social circle, but she couldn't get that. From her relationship, she wanted to get that. She didn't get that. So this could create an inferiority complex in that person, that when I'm not accepted, I'm being neglected, I'm rejected, maybe I'm like whatever Leader also said, which we saw in the previous slide, maybe I look ugly, um, I'm not good enough, that's why people don't recognize me, so I don't deserve good things in life. So I'm not someone pretty. I can't perform like the other person, or I'm not a good looking woman or whatever. So it's again like we, yeah, we have a response. Whatever, your self esteem plays a role for our inner confidence. Yes, definitely. So this when it's built from the childhood, when it when it's built from, this confidence is built from the childhood, and the immediate primary circle plays a very important role in the life of a child in instilling confidence in them. So when that is not developed properly, when that individual turns into an adult, it's difficult for them to handle with life circumstances. Then they start self blaming because of this lack of confidence. So we as a counselor, we help them to explore themselves, so to see yourself and to acknowledge your own self because you are unique. And as I mentioned in this agenda of what is my therapeutic intervention about, happy living with my kind of people. There'll definitely be people who will love me, who will accept me for who I am, how I look, like same similar to what was conveyed in the story. So maybe I'm not a chick, I'm a swan. I'm meant for something else. No, my characteristics are very different. Like we say, birds of the same feather flock together. I will be able to gel better with my kind of people whom I can share similar wavelengths, similar thoughts, similar ideas, and of people of similar lifestyle and all that. But maybe when it is a different kind of thing, which it's we are products of the genetic and the kind of environment in which we were groomed. So every individual present here are unique because of our own experiences and how life built us. And again, genes wise also there is a big sharing of genes. So maybe you get your skin tone from your grandfather, grandmother, not exactly not only parents. They like we ourselves would have heard people say that your nose looks like your aunt, or the same similar habits your uncle had, or something like that. Even parents, her foot style, habits, her likes are similar to her father, something like that. No, so nobody can decide our skin tone or the way our eyes is or noses. It's all genetic. So we cannot take responsibility for what we are, and there is no set of standards that you should look this way. So we are the society, and due to whatever influence, there is an expectation and high pressure on especially this generation to show themselves in the society appreciated way. So, but here it's very important for anybody to love themselves before we expect someone else to love us. So that self love is something very important. And here, towards the end of the 6 months of work we did, in which one of the modality was storytelling, the same story can be narrated to someone for them to understand what it is. And it would be nice to quickly receive some responses of, if Leela, if this story was actually conveyed to Leela, not as a video, but I told her the story. So when I'm telling the story to her, um, when I'm narrating the story to her, what do you think she something would have helped her as a therapy in 4 walls? I'm just conveying this to Leela. So what is something that would have she would have really thought about? What thought would have like struck her? What do you think so? You can speak or you can put it in the chat box. What impact could have this story created on Leela? Hope? Yes. Yes, definitely. Any more responses? Before we go to the termination, I would like to get some more responses. Self love? Yes. Okay. An idea to look for her kind of people. Yeah. So, post 6 months, Leela found acceptance. Yes, Leela found a job with better package in a metropolitan city. So here, the point which I'm trying to please excuse me for the spelling error. The point which I'm trying to make here is because of her low confidence, she felt that whatever she was earning was okay. So if someone, when she goes for an interview, whatever she's offered as a package salary, she would go with it. So her thought would be like, yeah, this is enough for me, because she didn't think that she deserves more. But when she's going through all this process of where we are trying to train her and help her to heal, as well as to give her an awareness about that she's unique and she deserves better, and she has all rights to experience freedom, her space, um, no, and yeah, and she's good enough, to tell her that she's good enough. So, a therapist, a counselor here is a support system to the client to help them. So, it's the first time she's thinking about her package. So, she feels that I need more, I deserve better. So, that was the first indication that she showed post 6 months. She could not continue the like therapy. She was almost like fine to take the vehicle on her own. So till the vehicle is under repair, some service is needed by the mental health professional. So later on, they take their own journey. And so first time she moves to a metropolitan city, and then she finds her love there. There she finds in this new environment, in her new environment, she finds a new love, and she gets married to that person, and then lives in a joint family. She loved herself, showed love on people who showed love on her. So from a point where no one acknowledged her, no one appreciated her, there comes a place where she's accepted as a member in a joint family with father-in-law, sister-in-law. So she communicates this happy news to me over the phone, that she's like settled down in so and so's family. She's got married, and it was a happy ending. And I'm very happy for Leela, though that's not her name. So as I mentioned, these are some changes which happen as an impact of the therapeutic intervention that we are providing to our client. So, and for any therapeutic technique to be success, what is important is from both sides, the work done by the counselor and the kind of time and dedication the client is also able to offer, both sides. So there will be an improvement in thought, feeling, behavior. In expressive arts, we focus on feelings and emotions. So when feelings and emotions change, thought patterns change. As a result, as an outcome, the behavior also changes. So this is one case which I wanted to present, and to also highlight how stories can be used in therapy. The same which I played can be narrated in beautiful ways in your own style. Every counselor has your own style, so you can do that yourself. And before we close, I would like to have a few like narrations from your side, or what was your takeaway for the day, for the session. It would be nice if you can give me few words about what was something new that you learned from today's session. Please feel free to talk. Anyone can speak, please go ahead. Some new takeaway. Or you can drop a message in the chat box as well. Yes, Shankar Das sir.
Yes, ma'am. Waiting is meaningful, and while waiting, learn. Uh, it
Patience.
is like self reflection is very important. It is
Exactly.
not that the other person is wrong and I am right. Yes, there may be something wrong with me also. So correct and go ahead.
Yeah.
Uh, and he will be happy only.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Gayatri ma'am. Okay. A simple storytelling also can have a great impact. Definitely. Definitely. So thank you for joining me today, and it was very nice to me, experience to me to be with all of you today. And let's continue with work in the future. And yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for your participation. Let's meet another day with a new modality to just know more, and as counselors and co-workers to receive information from you as well, and for me to spread some information that I have. Thank you for joining me. Thank you.
As usual, very interesting, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Welcome, sir.